Are you in the market for a home but you're frustrated by the lack of affordable options? Are you looking for 2 stories in a backyard? And if so, stay with me. I'm going to show you some of my favorite townhome communities in West Toronto, and I'll explain to you why I think not only are they a great investment, but they are an excellent way to enter the housing market. One of my favorite townhome communities in West Toronto is located at Burnhamthorpe and Mill Road, and it sits right on the edge of the Etobicoke Creek.
You can find these units on Redstone Path and Raintree Path. And although they look small, they are so well designed that they are incredibly spacious with interesting layouts. There's underground parking for every unit, and you'll find 2 to 4 bedrooms and typically 3 to 4 baths. Each unit has its own private backyard. But one of the highlights of this complex is the location. It's situated on the edge of the sprawling Etobicoke Creek, which provides complete privacy on one side of the complex. There's visitors parking at the end. Take note of the curb appeal of these units. They are very well cared for with pride of ownership. It's steps to Centennial Park, tennis courts and playgrounds, and across the street from a small elementary school and daycare.
Next up, we have this townhome community located at Burnhamthorpe and Old Burnhamthorpe. This complex is much bigger than the one that we just saw.
The east end of this complex has units that back onto green space and a tributary of the Etobicoke Creek. These are typically 3 bedrooms and 2 baths with very large basements. All of these units are 2 stories and come with underground parking. There's also ample parking available above ground. There are many families with kids in the community, and all of the units have fenced-in backyards and many back onto a common park area. The TTC bus loop is right at the end of the complex and takes you straight to Islington Station. These units are located steps to the Burnhamthorpe Mall, which features a bank, pharmacy, restaurants, and the LCBO. It is also across the street from the local high school.
These 2-story units on Old Burnhamthorpe Road behind me have underground parking, and some of the units have walkout basements to their own private backyards.
These are typically 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. This is a very private and quiet community. There's not a thoroughfare, just this access road for dropping off groceries before parking. The ravine side of the complex offers units with main floor balconies and walkout basements to a fenced yard. This creek path leads north to Centennial Park and south past the local middle school all the way to Dundas Street.
Next up, we have the Masters. Technically, these aren't townhomes, but they are so large, and some of them are 2 stories, that I wanted to make sure that I include them.
This complex is unique and sought after. It's located on the edge of the Markland Wood Golf Course, and it offers an exclusive private resort feel. One of the major advantages to this complex, apart from its excellent amenities, is that many of these units are 2 stories, which is rare in a condo. The 1-floor flats are also spacious, some feeling like a New York-style apartment with a wing off to one end for sleeping quarters.
Finally, I want to highlight some freehold townhomes and attached. These offer the best of both worlds, in my opinion. They're very large units with their own driveways and garages, but they don't come with a maintenance fee.
The design of this complex is interesting, as the units are varying sizes and styles. These are freehold, which means you do care for your own property and driveways, but because they are attached, they come at a bit of a lower sale price despite their large size. These are popular with families due to proximity to schools, parks, and transit. There are many options to choose from when looking at townhomes in West Toronto. In addition to location and size, there are some important areas to understand before you finalize a purchase, namely the maintenance fees and what they cover, the financial health of the condo corp, which should be determined by your lawyer, and the rules that are in place at the complex. Areas such as pets, common areas, and barbecues, for example. I haven't covered all of the types of townhome options available in West Toronto. If any of these or any other complexes are of interest to you and you would like more information, please feel free to reach out. Stay tuned for my upcoming series on West Toronto neighborhoods, where I take you through each little pocket and show you the good and the not so good of each. Units on Old Burnhamthorpe Road offer 2 stories.
Rolling.
Next up, we have the Masters. Why?
Give it a little sauce, man.
That was sauce.
It wasn't.
Next up, we have the Masters. Technically, this community is much bigger. These units on Old Burnhamthorpe behind me have 2 stories, as well as underground parking, and some of them have a walkout backyard to its own private basement.
That's great. Private basements, that's where it's at.
Next up we have the masters, but technically... These units behind me on Old Burnhamthorpe Road have 2 stories.